Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're doing another deck profile. This time we're looking at Cyber Dragons. Actually my favourite deck, probably the deck I've played the most IRL. Quite a rigid extra deck I would say. And the main deck really focuses around letting your opponent set up turn 1, beefing up one of your boss monsters, breaking their board and going for the OTK. First up, of course, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. It's the big one. Everything revolves around it. You really need to have it engrave at certain stages. You need it for some of the boss monsters, it pops off some of the spells. It's brilliant. 3 core, he's the main starter I would say, really gets you to any cyber spell trap that you need, which helps you fill in the gaps in your plays. Hers is brill, you get a search if you send it to the grave, and it's a great 2-card combo with Galaxy Soldier. 1 Naxter I think is fine, you don't really need more than that. There's the Galaxy Soldier, of course, with hers getting you straight to Nova and then Infinity for the Omni Negate. Eltanin a good sort of alt clear option if you're playing back. If you don't get the OTK, you got that in hand for the following turn, that's brill. Chimera gets us to Realm, and then Bond, it facilitates the primary OTK of the deck. Yugioh, of course, Kaijus are just great at the moment for removing stuff off your opponent's board, and you can fuse away for Fortress Dragon. Hand traps, of course, 3 Ash Blossom, it's a staple, it's great everywhere, it's always useful to have. That's it for the monsters. So for the spell traps we're looking at 3 Cyber Emergency. That lets us search a Cyber Dragon monster, usually core to be honest, to start the plays, but it can also give us hers to fill in the Galaxy Soldier package. Machine Dupe is great in this deck at 3. All the Cyber Dragon monsters count by name as Cyber Dragon on the field, which means that even one of the small ones can get us 2 level 5s from deck, of course, to go into Nova. Cyber Repair Plant as a 1 is fine, it's searchable. Rev System, of course, that can give us an extra level 5 from hand or grave, helps us again get to Nova, and also can't be destroyed by card effects. I could also pull back Naxter for the effect on Special Summon. Cyberload Fusion, I prefer to run this over Overload Fusion, given that it's searchable and we're only having 1 in the deck. Cyberdark Realm is there as part of the Cyberdark package with Chimera, it gives us an extra normal summon, and then we can swap any spell trap in the hand for one of those 2 copies of Power Bond. Power Bond is really the play for this deck, to be honest. It is the way you go, and you end with it off of Cyberdark Chimera because you can then use mats in the graveyard as well as on the field or in your hand. Instant Fusion, we target specifically Panzer Dragon, that's another level 5 if we need it as an emergency option to get into Nova. Duster, of course, just for extra board clearance, that is the whole theme of the deck. Called by, it helps to have something to fight against the abundance of hand traps in the modern game. 3 copies of Raigeki for obvious reasons, again it's just to break your opponent's board to help facilitate that OTK. For the traps, Cybernetic Overflow is absolutely brill. Gives you, again it's just more board clearance, isn't it? By the end of your play you're going to have lots of different level Cyber Dragons in order to remove multiple targets from your opponent's side of the field. 2 Imperm just because it's great, it's a go second deck, it's good to see in your first hand. It's easier to get through your opponent's board if you can restrict what they're able to build on their first turn. So that's it for the main deck. In terms of the extra deck, it's pretty rigid as I said before. So of course we have Cyber Dragon Infinity, he's an Omni Negate and he can remove from the field and attach to himself as a material 1 face up attack position monster every turn. Cyber Dragon Nova, absolutely great, 2 level 5s, he's really the play you're going for in terms of the Xyz summons in this deck. Cyber End Dragon, actually really good off Power Bond. A lot of people don't play this, but if you have Seeger out and you have him off Power Bond, you got a 10k beater with piercing battle damage. That could definitely change the course of a game. Rampage Dragon, super good, it can send hers off by its effect to give you a search and also attack up to 3 times. Off Power Bond, it would be at 4200 plus Seeger, that'll be 63. Mega Fleet is crucial in this deck. Any Cyber Dragon monster plus a monster in the extra monster zone, you can contact fuse away, it's not an effect, your opponent can't respond to it, and you can remove something from their side of the field quite easy. 1 Fortress Dragon, really that's there for Yugioh, would have a bit more use if we ran Clockwork Knight, which is totally viable. Cyber Twin, it's making up the numbers to be honest, I don't tend to actually use it. Panzer Dragon of course is the target for instant fusion. Salaman Great Almirage is great to say play core, search off core, you could search Cyber Repair Plant, get whatever piece you're missing from the hers Galaxy Soldier 2-card combo. Anima's great, there's a few level 1s in this deck, it's another way to get rid of something from your opponent's side of the field. Clifford Genius, It's doable with Machine Dupe, doesn't come up much, but it's viable to play. And Seeger, of course, is one that you kind of always want to see on the board just to help you go for the OTK, and that it can bump up one of your monsters. Honourable side deck plays. This is a go second deck. If your opponent forces you to play first, and you suspect they might force you to play first, you kind of need some other options. So Book of the Moon is great, and of course so is Solemn Judgment. Let's hop into Master Duel and see how the deck actually plays. Quick disclaimer going into these Master Duel games: Instant Fusion is actually on the ban list. It's forbidden in Master Duel, so we're playing Dirion King Regulus over Instant Fusion and Line of the Light Charmer over Panzer Dragon in the extra deck. So we got a Naturia player here, pure Naturia, popping off full combo. We've got 0 hand traps, so it's going to be a real slog trying to get through their board. But stay tuned, of course, it wouldn't be in the video if it wasn't a constructive demonstration. So Naturia Beast, that's the one we're going to want to get rid of, and then of course he's doing his usual ish with Ladybug, a Mole Cricket, looping for a second summon, ending board on IP Masquerena. So let's see what we get here. Cyberload Fusion, fantastic. So we go straight in with Jizukiru to get rid of IP. That means he can't chain that on the back of whatever we try to do. So fortunate enough to have Galaxy Soldier and hers in hand. So we send hers off Galaxy Soldier. That gives us a search for Cyber Dragon. Galaxy Soldier special lets us search a second Galaxy Soldier. So we can send the Cyber Dragon, play the Galaxy Soldier, and go straight into Nova. Now I didn't want to mess around here because I wanted really to get straight into the Omni Negate to make sure he couldn't do much to play back against us. So Cyber Dragon Infinity, we grab that Naturia Beast straight away, and then of course we play Cyber Dark Realm. Cyber Dark Realm, second normal for Chimera, and then we swap for Power Bond, which off Chimera we can banish from grave materials for the fusion summon of Rampage Dragon. We negated that with Infinity, stop the Mole Cricket in its tracks, and then we don't have a negate on board, so that's where we play Regulus to protect the rest of the play. So we're set up with quite a nice board here, to be fair. We can quite easily take game here, deal with Jizukiru, and then we have one more attack on Rampage, 42 into 35. Of course that gives us the win. Now as you can see, he had a fairly established board and we had various ways and means to get through it. So let's have a look at this second example. Now we sent hers off Naxter because that gives us a search, and of course we grab a Cyber Dragon. Now Naxter on field, see his name is gold, it's treated as Cyber Dragon, so we can use that for 2 level 5s. We tribute him off to go for 3 level 5s. I wasn't really sure what the opponent was doing here. I think it's another one of those self-kill decks, but didn't want to mess around and overextend. So we managed to get enough on board to go for game. As you can see, it's quite easy actually with Cyber Dragons to flood the field with some fairly powerful monsters. So that's it really for this one, guys. Let me know what you think to the deck. Have you played Cyber Dragons yourself? What is it that you like about the archetype? Are there any strange cards that you play to add your own spice to this deck? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be back with another deck profile soon. Cheers for your time. Take care. Bye bye.